evening, everyone. Thank you for joining in and being a part of the evening. This is Shruti Khurana on behalf of TCS iON. I welcome you all to this Jobinar on Fresher to Technical Architect. For those who are joining us for the first time, let me tell you what a Jobinar is. TCS iON Jobinar is a program we launched a year ago to connect with you and share insights about the industry and job opportunities. We call it Jobinar because it's a webinar focused on key career streams. Every second and fourth Thursday of the month, we host these sessions to help you find valuable insights for a bright and rewarding career. I'm really happy you all could join us today. Whether you are a student or a job seeker, I know you are excited and maybe a little nervous about your future in technology. Today, we are going to talk about a journey that might seem huge at first, that is going to be from complete fresher to a technical architect. Our speaker has been exactly where you are now. With 8 years of hard work, learning, real life experiences, he climbed his way up to become not only a top technical expert, but also a trusted hiring manager. He understands the challenges you face because he's been there himself. So he's here to share his personal story, guide you through what to focus on at every step, and give you clear advice on how to succeed in this ever changing tech world. So sit back, relax, and get ready for a session which all about helping you find your path in technology. So let's welcome our expert speaker for today's session, Mr. Ganesh Sharma. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Shruti, for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here.
I would like to introduce Ganesh sir. Ganesh Sharma is a technical architect, team lead, and SAFEI certified Scrum Master at TCS iON. With the 8 years of experience in designing and delivering scalable solutions, recognized as the best upcoming talent in TCS iON innovation, and Ganesh specializes in microservices, Java, MySQL, HTML5, and many more. With the moderate hands-on experience also in Python, Android, AngularJS, Power BI, and currently he leads a team of technical and functional experts in building a robust marketing engine and hub that streamlines end-to-end marketing processes. His work supports 72 plus Indian and international clients, delivering flexible and configuration-driven solutions to address the diverse market challenges. So let me ask you a first question that we would love to hear about your journey. Like back in college, what was your background like? What were you learning, exploring, or even struggling with at that time?
So, as I can recall it, like a way back when I was starting the journey as in a technical aspect, when I pursued my BTech in computer science, it was totally a mix of curiosity, exploratory part, and fair share of struggle, I totally say. It's not just about the technology that I'm learning about, it's also about the time management that we need to do because there are a lot of things going on. And because in the schooling part, we were being taught in a particular fashion that, okay, this is how you are going to train for it. But in the college, there is nothing in a structural fashion. You are supposed to do the lectures. If you feel though that is not that much important to you, you are also skipping multiple lectures also. So now there is need to be a fair share of balance where you need to explore it, whether you need to stuck to this, where you need to be very structured at the point of the technical aspect or the degree that you are going to pursue for it. Similarly, there are multiple aspects of learning new technologies, doing hands-ons, creating some minor projects, joining multiple groups that gives you a top edge for it because collaboration is something that will be also very needed in that point. So it was like I was doing my BTech in computer science. So yes, definitely those softwares were being a part of it. C, C++, Java, and those particular instances were being taught to us. Even those particular textbooks were not sufficient to enrich us with the use cases where it needs to be implemented. So I found that when I got into an internship, it was very helpful to understand what actual mainstream technologies are there, how they are being emerging, and how these technologies are actually used for the fair share for solving the problem statements for the companies or the clients that we are being served. So that was the mainstream change that I got to understanding. Meanwhile, between those particular challenges, I also was fond of the white paper writing, and because at that time there was a fair share of learning and exploration going on in AI. So I also wrote an AI in AIEEE. I wrote an white paper. I published a white paper and presented in front of the leagues also, and that was for AI for AWS Cloud. So that was presented, I believe it was 2014, I believe. In 2014, it was being published. Then gradually, because we were having in collaboratory clubs where we were being taught, okay, see, there are multiple security hackers which are going on. So mainstreaming your total energy, because there are a lot of things which are going on around, and understanding which is good to you or what is where you will fall right. That was something that I believe worked for me. And when I found that, okay, there's the problem solving is something that I am very fond of, and these use cases and solving those particular by just having multiple debug points, too much of brainstorming night and days, and collaborating to get it a solution. And finally, when I got that particular solution, it makes me wonder, look at how happy I am after the solution. So that is something that I believe that was the journey and the struggles that I got through the college. And gradually, I was being placed through the campus placements. I was asked by TCS and Accenture to be part of them. And for the ethics that we follow in TCS, I connected for the TCS.
That's nice. So you joined TCS right after your college?
Yes, I was being placed to TCS as my first company. I was also being opted for getting interviewed in TCS. Post all those affiliations, the aptitude test and the MR round, that one-on-one technical rounds, and the HR round. Post that, we were being enrolled for it, and I got in it letter for from TCS, as well as I was fortunate enough to get it from Accenture too.
One student who is actually giving you a compliment that my mind is also similar to Ganesh sir. If I can solve a problem and complete a task, I feel satisfied and happy.
That's true.
So
I believe you should be stuck to the technology that I am like.
awesome, awesome.
The exact question is like that, ki how did you land in TCS as a fresher? And according to you, what did you do right to get this job?
So I believe it was a combination of both the aspects, technical, the resume, the hands-on activities that I have done for the internships, as well as and then freelancing part, as well as there was components of the soft skills that actually too much helped to me, and the FT examinations that were being part of the TPO cells that helped a lot to us. So, in a short nutshell, I feel that it was a combination of all the things in a go. A little luck, a little persistence, and too much hard work that needs to be there. Similarly, if I'll state it in a particular fashion, how it went well. So I'll say like we were being at that time of what recruitment, we were being asked to get evaluated for the aptitude examinations. Then particular aptitude examinations got results out, and post that we are being scaled for the soft skills also by writing some sort of communication skills, writing an email, and so on. There were a combination of some things. Then there was one-on-one technical interview that went very well. I believe I can remember that the interviewer do write an excellent technical expertise. That makes me more confident on that particular interview. And it was approximately 20 to 30 minutes, which was taking for every student, but it takes around a hour and 30 minutes for me. And that too because of me, though, because at that time that particular expert was very good at those technologies, and he was of the same expertise that I was for. So at that time I was working for the Java as well as for Android. He asked me for that question. So I rated myself out of 10 as an 8. I insisted, okay, I am good at it, but I still feel that there are aspects of this particular technology that I need to explore. So that went very excellent. Then there were MR rounds which needs to be corrected. So it totally depends on the ethics and the communication skills. They try to understand what are the skills and mindset that you are currently having. Then there were an HR round who started negotiating and to understand like what are the different aspects of your life that may hamper the continuity of the job, that may hamper the particular response, which went well also as together. So, though altogether, those particular structuring, right skill sets, stating it in my particular resume, stating that what are the best expertise that I am contributing for, what are the hands-on things that I have containing for this particular period of time, and similarly the communication skills that I own and the people skill that I own by collaborating with multiple people that combinedly contributed for the same.
Awesome, awesome. So basically, hands-on also helps the students a lot, and
A
that is
lot. That gives enormous confidence to the
yeah.
user.
Yeah, I was asking a audience poll question also, and with that, I wanted to ask you also that now we all recognize that these technical skills are very critical in today's fast-paced world. These are like skills, problem solving with C, data structure and algorithm, OOP concepts, web technology, databases, operating system and networking, and software engineer. So I just wanted to know that we all recognize these technical skills. These are very critical in today's fast-paced world. So Ganesh, from your perspective, can you share why each of these skills holds such importance and how students should approach mastering them?
Surely, surely. I believe each aspect of this is very crucial. I do appreciate the poll that you have added to it, and that's a fab poll that we get. The most of it that I can tell you for out of this is like that the C is very C is the technology which is very near to the system technologies. It's let you understand how that particular logic works, how that particular communication and allocation to that particular program or that particular structure works together. Similarly, if I'll say for the OOPS concept, it understands for like either you go for C++, you go for Java, you go for Python. Altogether, the concepts remains the same. It's just the paintbrush that changes it all. So it's like maybe you'll need to write in Python or C++ or in Java. If you understand the OOP concept, I believe you know all the things of it because because of the some advantages or some disadvantages for that particular technology, it may be opted or not opted for that particular solution. But altogether, they serves to the main purpose only. Okay, yeah, now I am able to see that. Similarly, the web technologies, I believe, until and unless you have a controller at you. So I call it in a MVC fashion only. So it's a model view and control. So the idealistically when we stated about this thing, so I'll be jumping, juggling around, but I'll cover all the specs. So in general, if I'll say for the OOPS concept, I believe we covered it. The problem solving with C, we covered it. The web technologies is something which will be the laying out you to the user who will be interacting to it. The major leaps that out of that particular time of when I started the engineering and now if I'll say so the Ajax and the JSON are the major game changers for that thing. Previously, that particular servlets we need to hit and we need to get those particular data and GSPs needs to load, which took too much time for it. Even I believe everyone saw the cricket match before. So that's the trick. If anyone was watching it through the mobile cell or was just tracing the scores, they will be able to understand. Okay, this was not possible before. I need to reload that particular screen to get that updated. Now even just every second we are able to see okay the score has been updated and it's a 4 or it's a 6 or it's a wicket whatever it is. So that is the leap changer for it. So the technologies have commenced very differently now. The HTML, so the Bootstrap, the Java queries, AngularJS, Node.js, and every many more technologies are there which needs to be part of it. Similarly, a data structure and algorithms, the relational DBMS, RDBMS, the algorithms for they're being sorted, they're being searches will be there. They will actually contribute to the particular optimization and performances of the technology. Similarly, if we are talking about the data structures and algorithms, we need to talk about the databases that we need to be, we cannot forget them those, because ultimately, whatever we are doing, any solution we do a fetch and a send along with the data massaging. That is all the things which we do with any of the technology. So either we will be sending the data back to the DB, or we will be fetching a data from the DB. Meanwhile, a controller may be massaging it in a particular fashion that it will be appropriate to the user. So for the databases, I recommend, I believe, the SQL. SQL is the best tool that we should be learning for the basic crude operations we should understand. Similarly, for non-structure, I believe MongoDB would be very good if we can understand those concepts, as well as we should be able to understand the relationship and what's the basic DBMS and RDBMS are being differential for. Similarly, when we are saying about the RDBMS, the indexations and I believe normalizations, anyone who would be in third year or fourth year of their engineering will be able to relate to this particular part where that normalization, why we need to do the normalization. When you understand it, you'll know that you will, when you join an industry, you'll be able to comply. Okay, this is why we need a normalized table in the structure, which do optimization, which do the standardization, which do the integrity of that particular data. Similarly, if we talk about the operating systems and networking, yes, definitely these are very essential until and unless you understand that particular technology and the operating system and network you are working, the protocols that you need to follow. Either it's for regex, either it's being secured, it's an open HTTP, HTTPS, how the DNS are working, you will not be able to understand why this is optimizable, why I need to have a different approach, because while we are doing the scaling of those particular approaches, we will not be doing justice to the solution. Because a solution, writing a code is very easy, I'll frankly speaking. Uh, a fourth class student can write a code getting help with a particular ID. I, for myself, if I'll say I can recall it, like in my high school, I was being asked to create multiple calculators in Java. But it was very different in what we're doing over here, because it was on the help of an IDE where we were just getting a particular instance, and we were being dragging drop and creating the UI, and then on that, just by clicking, we are creating an event listener. But when we actually implement it, we need to understand, okay, this can be an optimized, it can be more unique to that particular use case. So that is where you we fall short when you do not understand to that particular operating systems is being operating on the network system, where that particular data needs to be channeled out, channeled in. The microservices will be very helpful. After those particular instances, I believe we got the particular data set, like the that software engineering we got, just that the 35% is very important to it. But I feel it is very essential. Even you are going for a technical role or a non-technical role. Software engineering is something that gives you an edge out of everyone else. It will make you understand how a particular process works, how it is very crucial to have a structured development cycle. Otherwise, it will be very rare to get optimized to do a performance for the same, to do optimization of that particular solution will be very hard. So the software engineering containing those scrums, those particular uh, agile processes that we comply in it, the waterfall process that we follow, why we use a spiral one. So all those parts are very essential to understand the DevOps, how it works, why it needs to be developed in a dev environment, then need to be pushed to a QA, then get it performance tested for in a PT environment, then we need to push it to a staging or an UAT environment, and then only we need to release it out to do the stability and scalability of that particular solution. So that is also very important, how those particular rules, why that particular extra effort needs to be in place to ensure a continuous delivery and no glitch options for the user.
I would like to ask, on top of these technical skills, what are the other areas that the student should make sure to learn to get into the right IT job? Even
So apart from the
mostly the
technical
students are
aspect, if I'll
asking this
say,
also.
like as I was stating, the collaboration and soft skills is something that I feel that were very essential. Like just the coding part or just the debugging part cannot lead you to anywhere further. It will only lend you to a problem solver, but to understand the particular scenario, to communicate into the greater fashion, and to be a great leader. So soft skills are something that is very essential. You need to communicate, you need to collaborate, you need to be aware about yourself at that moment. Now, what is something which you can do in an expertise? What is something where you need and help? That also is very essential. Similarly, if I'll stay stack to one together one by one, then I believe it would be like, firstly, there will be the communication skills that needs to be there. You need to be able to wisely and optimizely able to communicate your thoughts to other person. Secondly, you should be a people person. You could be a problem solver, but if you are not able to collaborate, then it will be very hard to you for you to create all those components very efficiently. So, for example, if we feel that okay, you have a great expertise in Java, we understand that part. But if someone says, okay, we'll create a group and we'll do a mini project in this particular instance, and you'll be doing the backend, and now you need to be collaborating with this X person to do the front end. Now, if you're not able to communicate what exactly are the changes that are we are cascading, is the basic needs for that particular instance, then it will be very hard for you to develop and to be a key player of that particular team. So that is very important. Similarly, while creating your resume, it is very essential that you highlight the key points that you are very strong at. You ensure it that whenever you're creating a particular resume, you ensure that your whatever is your high points you highlight in where. If you have some expertise in some other, you put it into a moderate one, so that it will be understandable by the interviewer also, that okay, this person is having this knowledge, but it is in a moderate fashion, and he have an expertise in this particular domain. So that is also very important. If you have some hands-on expertise, please do mention them. If you have some collaborative effects, even if it is something for a particular, let's say there's an event going on in your college, and you have handled some of the activities in it. You have collaborated with some people and you have handled it. That also counts for the management part. That also counts to be the collaboration, so that we can understand you are aware of the team management, you are aware, you are being a key player, you are a team player for that instance. So that will lead you to the parts where it will give you an edge to that particular interview.
Just one question from Suchi. She is asking that, sir, which language we can prefer for DSA?
So idealistically, if you are speaking about the current scenarios, I'll say the Python would be the one that you should be doing. The data analysis, the data science, I believe it will give you multiple libraries to do it will reduce your efforts in that part. It's not specific to the technology, although, but in general, it is very easier to get it through the Python. As we
Definitely
see,
recommend it.
there's no technology which is having an upper end or is having a lower end. It's just the use case that we are implementing, how it needs to be done. So there will be some technology which may restrain, so we'll opt for the another one. Shruti, I believe the main challenges that we face at that time, I was in a second tier college, and the main thing that was it was like the accessibility to the jobs was the something that was very rare. Similarly, to getting an hands-on for the use cases that are relevant, the technologies which will be relevant was very rare. We need to be dependent on the stuff which are presented on the internet. which are somehow viable, but somehow not very confidential, and we cannot depend on those particular, and we cannot always be dependent on that particular such data. We always need to revalidate it through colleges, schools. They actually do not. So the majority of that particular instance, what it works over there is like the how I need to understand like what is the major expertise that are required for that particular job. What are the jobs which are being available? How I can get shortlisted for them? How I can get hands-on for those particular expertise. I believe TCS NQT is the answer for all those questions. How to get an access to a job, to get shortlisted, and to get placement assistant for the same. So that is how I believe it is very essential. It is very helpful, and I hope that it could be before also, so that I may be able to utilize the same to get a clearer path and to achieve the same.
Great, great. And with that, Ganesh, I wanted to ask you another question that considering your unique hybrid approach that blends technical expertise with leadership, why did you choose a technical focus path over a purely managerial one? Additionally, could you share your views on the benefit of each role, technical specialist, managerial leader, and hybrid, and offer some career advice to students?
I believe this is something that every person who is there in an engineering college and is still facing like, what needs to be done at my end would be facing. I believe this question is the most relevant one to all the people who are there in the colleges. They are either in the final placement drives, or they are willing to be part of that particular drive. Now they must be confused like what should be the main course? Should I go for a managerial role? Should I go for a technical? Is there a hybrid tech mac thing which is available? Then I'll say you need not to be very confused about it. It's good you are aware of it. Now you need to start exploring the parts that what you feel like a person who mentioned in the chat that he also feels accomplished when he solves the technical aspect and he feel pride of it. I believe uh, you should be going for the technical expertise. You will love the different difficulties and different scenarios that use cases will be bombarding you, and those challenges will definitely gonna overwhelm you. But at the end, when you'll achieve those particular solutions, you'll feel too much accomplished. People who states that their people skills, they are having more of a managerial things, they are able to easily put people together, they are able to guide them through that particular aspect. I believe they are the ones who should be going for the managerial roles. They are ones who can bring good out of the people, and those people are very essential and very needed in the corporates, as we need the technical expertise. The managerial roles, the ones that you can communicate, you can present that particular idea in front of the people, how you do the communication, the soft skills, as well the people skills that you contain, that too much helps to the solution, because just having a solution is not enough. Just to make it understand how it is benefiting to the customer, that is too much important. So any feature which is presented for a particular course or particular
So,
solution. Yeah. Similarly, if you wish to do for the hybrid, I believe the Tech Mac would be the ones you can do go and play a role of a program manager. You can be a tech lead in a managerial role like me, who is willing to be a technical architect, creating the solution as well as started managing the team, and that will help you up with that thing. Yeah, sure.
great, great, Ganesh. I just wanted to ask you, what technologies should one get into in student life nowadays to get good technical and non-technical roles in about a year or two from now?
So for the technical roles, I believe we already had it in us. In us, like most of it we was already covered. So now there are three aspects of any of the solution. We'll say that there will be a front end which will be interacting with the user who is end user for that particular solution. There will be a backend where all that particular data will be stored either securely, if it is a confidential one, it will be secure, it will be in a NoSQL or SQL database. A database needs to be known. Similarly, there need to be a model that or a controller which we call, which will control that particular inflow and outflow according to the use case or the uses of that particular solution. So these are the three aspects of the particular solution which needs to be known well by the any of the aspirant. For front end, I believe I suggest a Node.js or AngularJS. Before getting into these particular advanced technologies, I ask you to have a hands-on for JavaScript and jQuery. Although these are just an extensions and libraries of those particular technologies that we are having, it's an embedded one, but you should be getting a hands-on on your that particular instance. Similarly, you should have a good moderate knowledge of the HTML5, Bootstrap, which will give you a good expertise in the front end. Similarly, for backend, I suggest to have a particular OOPS concepts to be part of it. Any technology a SCREEs must have so that you can understand how this particular programming and a communication with a particular device happens. How a 0 and n 0 and 1 combinedly gives me an output which is required by me, or I can program it in the way. So that will, let's see, will help you out for that. After the C, you can definitely go for C plus plus. C sharp you can do Python, you can do Ruby, you can do for Java. But as far as I am concerned, the main objective is to understand the OOPS concepts, the the particular building block of that particular instance that you are willing to be part of, which will enable you to be creating components which are scalable, which are reusable. Why Python is very famous right now, because of its simplicity and the reusability of those components. That is the main reason why Python got an edge out of it. Java was very differently being portrayed. It is very vividly explored. So Java is very important. You can also go for an Android, you can go for an iOS training for the same. So you can create a native or a hybrid program out of it. If you have expertise in front end, you have expertise in iOS or in Android, definitely you're gonna create a number of programs. You will be able to easily build multiple Android and iOS programs for the same. But until unless you have a basic structural information of either Oracle, SQL, MySQL, or MongoDB, which is structural and in a vivid way, I'll say structural and non-structural. So to start with any of that particular communication, I'll suggest to have an hands-on on SQL queries so that you will be able to understand how this particular DB server will be communicated, how I'll be able to communicate it through. So that those are the courses that I'll suggest to be start with the technical role. Definitely, when you go to a technical role, these are not the only aspects. You also needs to understand the complexity, the performance, the technologies. That moderate knowledge also needs to be presented.
So, Ganesh, could you please explain how those technologies that you mentioned previously would be essential for the onboarding and marking engine building process? Also, to cater the different use cases solutions for the use cases which your customer are currently getting.
Okay. So currently, I'm working for three of the solutions. I am trying to create it and multiple solutions for different customers that we are being catering today. We have iON Digital Marking Hub that you have referred. So I'll go for the first one only and will not deep down into the other parts. But for the first one, there are communications for the big scale data that are big part of the evaluation, right? For any of the evaluation, there will be multiple media files. There will be like either it's an audio, it's a file PDF, or a presentation in a video format. It could be anything. Media file would be there, which needs to be stored somewhere to be in a non-structural way. There needs to be a managerial part where I have a relationship between the data sets as well as to the NoSQL, similar to what we have for the social media, which will be able to interact with each other and will be able to get a particular output out of it. Similarly, I also need an DSA to be, I need to be aware about the DSA to know what is the time complexity of that particular program that I've created. What, how I can do the improvement of it, how can I initialize it, and uh, all those performance and the productivity parts that could be enlarged for it. Similarly, we utilize Java and Python both in a parallel fashion to do the AI and part. We do the NLP. So people will say that you have Python, why don't you do an NLP in Python? We do NLP in Java. People will be amazed. Okay, can we do a NLP natural programming language algorithms in Java? Yes, you can do it. We have done it. Similarly, we are doing it. Maybe it will be easier in Python. It could be in component. It is about the use cases. We have face authentications. We have programming. We have data analysis where we are analyzing the patterns. We are analyzing. We are standardizing those experts of markers who are doing the evaluations. Those are being evaluated on the basis of them. We have profile creation where the data analysis comes to the picture. Similarly, we have the front end. That is the most important part of it. Why we said it? Because it is where that particular user is interacting with the system. Your system would be very great. It is a supercomputer attachment. But if it doesn't have a good UI to interact with, a familiarizing one, if it do not have a good experience to the user, it do not fulfills the being objective of creating that solution to ease the effort to ease and process that particular program to serve that customer. So that is where we have those Angular JSs which are being included, Java JS, HTML5 which are playing, JSONs and Ajax which are we are using for alongside with the GSPs to communicate into those particular questions where the fast the performance is important except to that particular instance where the large data is not being included. If we are having a large data, we have a loaders DNS we are implementing. So there are a lot of things. There are 30 plus integrations. There are multiple solutions and external integration which are part of it. We're doing SSOs. We are launching it out of those particular places. We are asking you to launch it through or just getting registered through the social media platforms that we are currently having. So all those particular instances combinedly contributes to it, and that's result a great fab solution which customers love to get it served through.
Great. So, we have a lot of questions from the audience, but I wanted to ask you one question which is very interesting. Aritara is asking, should we expertise in machine learning too?
Yes, if you like to be part of an AI comprises of multiple things, right? The IoT is there, there's a generative AI is there, the machine learning, similarly, it's there. So as we spoke about, like how a particular marking engine would be able to do the machine learning, right? We are being benefited. We are doing the auto marking over here. So the machines are being taught to do the evaluation of those copies. A machine is being taught to understand, okay, that person who is doing the evaluation, is it the authorized person or not? We are doing the evaluation out of that particular part. So yes, you will be benefiting from the AI part when either it's in the machine learning, either it's in the data analytics. It is the domain that you like. So currently, do not force yourselves to be a part of a streamline which you are hearing out of everyone. You do shortlist an n number of things and ask yourself a question: which is the stream that I like to be part of? Which is the thing which I found interesting and I feel good at it? Now, gradually, you can do everything. It is nothing that you cannot be trained of, you cannot achieve. The point is, do you love to do that part? That is very essential. So do ask that question. I believe NQTU will also help you to understand that by giving multiple hands-on, by providing you multiple career options that could be the part of it. But you are the one who need to take that decision. You are the one who will be there, who will be coding, who will be creating a fab solution, which will be making a change for the entire human race that we are suffering for. It is just sending back to whatever we have received out of that humanity.
Great, great. So, with this, Ganesh, I wanted to ask you a very important question. That is, what are the key attributes to become successful technical architect?
So if I'll talk about the key attributes that should be focusing on, so I believe you need to be mastering the technology. Until unless you do not have a system design understanding, core technologies, you do not understand from their core, you cannot be a technical architect at all, because you need to understand all the aspects of the technology, all the flaws, all the ups and downs of that particular scalability, performance, optimization, high availability, and so on. S- Parallel to that particular part, you cannot be very specific to a particular solution. Whenever you are creating a product, you have to be a full stack development and DevOps part. How I state that? See, you cannot be saying like, "Oh, I have a very good expertise. I will be in the microservices only, and I'll be taking care of it." It is not that it will not be hampering anything, and you can be part of it. You can do that part, but then there will be a requirement of a second person who will take care of about the second, all the other aspects of that particular program. Now there need to be active communication between those particular two. Then only there will be a successful delivery. But if you have a hands-on, you have a full stack understanding, or you are a full stack developer. So say, for example, you have understanding for the front end, you have understanding for the back end, you have understanding for the DB and the controller. Then definitely you understand, okay, I am having a microservice that will serve me to a particular part. This is how I can serve it to encapsulate it. Maybe I need a scaling. This is how it could be done. So that will give you a hands-on expertise. If you have a full stack hands-on expertise, this will give you an in-depth understanding that okay, whatever is written in the book, that factually has happening, and it works like this. And how you need to implement those DevOps, that is a very important for part, because that is also where we need to understand how much server power it will be required. If I am need to be optimizing, you cannot ask every company to have a supercomputer installed for their solution, right? It is too much expensive. You cannot provide that. So you need to understand the use cases, you need to understand the budgeting part, the optimization part. That is also very essential. Similarly, these are the technical aspects that I was covering. Apart from that, I believe there will be some leadership skills that are very important, mentoring skills. I believe my mentor helps me out with the mentoring skills. If I'll speak about myself, there was like, it was very easy for me to do a particular job in a particular period of time, but get it done by another one was tougher for me. So I always like to like, it's okay. Either of asking it out of to any other person, I'll do it by my own. Then I've been taught by that experience and by my mentors that okay, this is not the right way you do. You may take 2 more hours than the general one to do get completed the task for the first time. But now you have a dependent person who will be able to be a proxying for you, as well as he will be now trained and skilled. He will take a lesser 2 hours as compared to the one that you have provided him. And now you have two different accomplished persons that will be able to cater the service request. Similarly, whenever you are being a leader, if you do not possess that part, you need to take your team as a priority. You cannot take yourself as a priority. You should not. Now, whenever you are, I believe most of you must have done a minor project, or you have must have done any of the project either in the schooling or in the college now, or in the current project that you are doing. You must be understanding, like if you have a great leader who is doing some stuff, and then he asks that particular question, okay, are you willing to join me? You'll be readily be joining that person. You'll do that thing. So you need to be a example setter. You need to be the proactive one. You need to be the high impact projector ones. You need to take initiatives. You need to understand what is the high impacting part, what is the lesser impacting point, where I need to let it go, when I need to be very strict about it. Then only you'll be able to get those particular parts. As well as per my learning, I also get benefited by getting multiple certifications. As you from the introduction that was very generous from Shruti. There are multiple sets of courses and certifications that I've completed, which TCS provided me, and an opportunity and platforms to get enrolled and do the those certifications on my own. So lifelong learning is something that our IOU had suggests, and I do definitely believes in it. Anyone who's part of this, do learn. Do not think that I need to learn for 5 hours, 6 hours. It's okay. grab just a 30 minutes part out of your daily life. We understand you are very busy with your projects, your works, your evaluations. There are multiple exams. There are like 400, 500 examinations in just a small span of 3 or 4 years. Now we understand you can get only half an hour just for yourself to understand whatever you like a technology. You start getting into it. You give just 30 minutes to it. Once you get an understanding in 30 minutes, you give 30 minutes every day for the hands-on part. That is all you needed. There's nothing else that you need to do. You'll get enough time, enough room for it. And once you'll get in a habit of it, now you'll definitely gonna get more time for that time, because the time management is something which is very essential to part of it.
Great. It seems like turning a complex ideas into a seamless system. So it was really nice. With this, I wanted to say, as I listen now nicely your journey, so I wanted to say a technical architect builds the bridge between the innovation and execution.
Correct.
So you are a true example of that one. Really great. Awesome. So, in
Thank you.
last, I wanted to ask you, Ganesh, one last question. You can say that. What 5 tips to become a technical architect you would like to give to our audience in 8 years if they wanted to become a technical architect, and a particular 5 tips? What you would like to give?
So taking notes for it, as we discussed in the last point also, like it would be something similar to what I stated before. Do have a great knowledge of the technology that you, because the liking is very important, because when we talk about any of the technology, it is having a very wide range of expertise that needs to be completed. You need to understand and evaluate that part of you. You need to understand the ups and downs of the technology. So you need to know which technology you like to be learning of, which you feel is you are comfortable with, and you like to hands on it, because it's just like a painter. If I'll speak into a particular thing, it's we engineers are just the painters. Just we are painting with a code and not a paintbrush. That paintbrush is something, a technology which serves for it. But definitely a particular solution doesn't defines by by the paintbrush. It is by the hand that have created it. So similarly, a particular technology will not define you. You need to keep on learning and relearning those particular expertise. You need to understand that part. So that is one thing. So whatever you learn it for in depth. You do not learn it for just you need to have to. You learn it because you want to. Similarly, do participate into multiple cultural activities. Do participate into particular acts where you are collaborating with people, so that you can understand what kind of a role play you can provide, or you can be the team player over there, or you can be the leader who will be driving all the people, so that you can explore it by yourself. Similarly, do work on your communication skills. Soft skills is very essential for part being over there. Then if I'll talk about the communication skills and the technical expertise, I also wish to have a proper work life management. The time management is also essential. So the time management skills also needs to be in place. You need to understand you have only 24 hours in your day. You need to divide it and need to segregate it accordingly to your current needs, which will actually is done by the agile. It is something that we are saying, okay, we have this much of resource. What is important? Now I contribute my important answers to that particular instance. That is very essential. Similarly, if I'll go for the life, do not learn or de-learn. Do not force yourself to into any technology. I don't feel that it is the right way to do. Feel free, be yourself in that particular instance. You will be excelling in it. It will be a gradual period of time that you'll find your path. Explore multiple options. Do not stop at one. There will be multiple dead ends that you'll find. I personally also find multiple things very cruel to me, and then I felt like, oh, it is a the end for that technology. But gradually, when I keep on persisting on that particular path, I got an understanding. Oh no, it was not an dead end. It was just a blocker that needs to be overtaken, and now I'm rolling out like so fast. So that is something, the points that I'll say.
Awesome, awesome. Ganesh, with this, I remember one quotation that is the blueprint of technology starts with the technical architect's vision. So, which you have mentioned a perspective that
Correct.
actually suits this quotation. Exactly, that is the important. First, the vision will come, then the blueprints get ready. So,
Exactly.
yeah. So, with this, I wanted to tell to my audience over the past year, we have hosted insightful webinars on emerging technologies and high demand skills. So, now you can access all the recordings of this knowledgeable sessions on our TCS Ion Jobinar page. The link will be shared in the chat box. So, you can go directly on it and you see definitely it will be uploaded. So, with this, I would like to say, Ganesh and our esteemed audience, on behalf of our team, thank you for participating in today's webinar. A special thanks to you, Ganesh, for sharing your valuable insights and making the session so informative. To our audience, also, I was just saying that would you like to add something in the last?
Yeah, I'll just say it in a some simpler fashion for everyone. Guys, I understand you guys are very confused and you want to excel in your life. Take it on a chill pill and be the into the moment. To prepare for yourself, it is not that it will come from a miracle. It is something that can come out of your preparations. Do not force yourself to into anything. Be into the moment, plan it, understand it. If you want a revamp, always go for it. There's no option that you cannot explore. If you want to be a technical part, you can be a technical one. If you want to be a non-technical one, you can be a non-functional part. You can be a managerial part. It is the way that you like to do. Please go ahead, explore that part. There are multiple tools like NQT we have that will help you out to collaborate with people who will give the insights of their experiences. And definitely, I wish excellence for all of your future. Good luck for your coming advantages and achievements that are lined up for you.
Thank you so much, Ganesh. And with this, I would like to end the session.